You know, when you're managing a chronic condition like endometriosis or adenomyosis, just getting through the day can be a real battle. So in this explainer, we're going to build a super practical, non-medical toolkit that you can actually use to manage your symptoms. Let's start by really understanding the challenge.
Okay, first things first, it's so important we all get on the same page about this. Endometriosis and adenomyosis are not just bad periods, not even close. These are really complex, whole-body conditions that can affect everything from your energy and your mood to just your ability to function day to day.
You'll often see symptoms kind of clumped together in what we can call clusters. So you've got the pain cluster, that intense cramping, chronic pelvic pain, or pain with, specific activities. Then there's the bleeding cluster, which is a really big one for adenomyosis. And then you have the whole body stuff, that deep, profound fatigue, the brain fog, and those pain flares that just pop up out of nowhere when you're stressed or not sleeping well. Just seeing your own patterns is a huge first step.
And wow, this quote just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? That whole body impact, the exhaustion, and the brain fog. That's often the hardest part to get other people, even your doctor, to understand because you can't see it.
All right, so we know the problem. The question is, how do we move from just talking about how bad it is to actually finding some practical day-to-day solutions? Well, the answer is all about building your very own proactive, supportive toolkit.
This is the big question, isn't it? With so much to deal with, it can feel totally overwhelming trying to figure out what might, actually bring some relief. So let's look at some real, tangible options. Now, before we dive into the gadgets, we need a way to sort through them. So we're going to use this simple ABC evidence guide. Think of A as the stuff with strong scientific backing or things that are just widely accepted because they work. B is for tools with kind of mixed evidence. They might be a game changer for some people, but not for others. And C is for things with more limited or indirect evidence. This isn't about judging what's good or bad. It's about helping you make smart choices for your own body.
So let's start with the big guns, the tools that have the best evidence behind them for tackling common symptoms like pain. Honestly, these are often the simplest and most effective places to begin.
First up, an oldie but a goodie, the classic heating pad. This thing gets a solid A for evidence. It's just fantastic for cramps, pelvic pain, and that awful back pain. The key thing here, though, is using it safely. We're talking 20 to 30-minute sessions. Always put a layer of cloth between the pad and your skin, and please, please, never fall asleep with it cranked up on high heat.
Okay, let's move on to our next tool, the TENS unit. TENS stands for Transcutaneous Electrical Nerve Stimulation, which is just a fancy way of saying it uses little electrical pulses to help block pain signals. It gets a B for evidence, so it's got some decent support. You'll want to start on a low setting for about 20 or 30 minutes. But, and this is a big but, it is not for everyone. You have to avoid it if you have a pacemaker, you can't use it on broken skin, and you shouldn't use it on your abdomen if you're pregnant.
All right, so beyond just direct pain relief, a really good toolkit also needs things for comfort, and this one's huge, tools that help you talk to your healthcare team way more effectively.
So here we've got kinesiology tape, or KT tape, used as a belly wrap. Now, its evidence is kind of in that BC range, so it's best to think of it as a comfort and support tool. For some people, it gives this gentle sense of support and body awareness that can help take the edge off the pain. Just be sure to test a little patch on your skin first to make sure it doesn't cause irritation, and don't stretch it too tight when you put it on.
Now, this might just be the single most empowering tool in your entire kit. A symptom tracker, whether it's a fancy app or just a plain old notebook, gets a solid B rating for usefulness. The idea is to just take a minute, literally a minute, each day to log your main symptoms. What's your pain level, any bleeding, how's your fatigue, and what might have triggered a flare. And this is where the magic happens. Tracking helps you see your own personal patterns. You start making connections you never saw before between your cycle, your stress levels, your sleep, and your symptoms. But the absolute game changer, your doctor's appointments. It turns, I've just been feeling awful into, look, on these 3 specific days, my pain was an 8 out of 10, and it happened right alongside fatigue and major bloating. That's data.
And yup, this quote backs that up perfectly. When you track your symptoms and see them in these clusters, you're not just telling your story anymore. You're presenting evidence. And that's the language that helps doctors really get the full picture and work with you on a treatment plan that actually makes sense. So what does this all boil down to? What's the big takeaway here? It's really about shifting your mindset from just reacting to your symptoms to proactively managing them. It's about empowering yourself with knowledge and practical tools. Now, it's so important that we're crystal clear on this. None of these tools are a cure for endometriosis or adenomyosis. They are supportive measures. The goal here is a better quality of life. It's about improving your daily function and helping you manage your symptoms more effectively.
So let's wrap this all up with a simple 4-step action plan. Step 1, understand your own unique symptoms. Step 2, explore these evidence-based tools and see what works for you. Step 3, track what's happening to gather your own personal data. And Step 4, use that data to communicate like a pro with your care team.
Look, building this toolkit is a really personal journey, and it all starts with just one small step. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. What's the very first tool you're going to add to your support kit?